Okay guys, welcome back. I took the board set and the power supply out of Spy Hunter. So now we can work on rebuilding these. Now, I was thinking of it as I was walking up to the house from the shop, and this works. The power supply works, okay? I don't know that I'm gonna change these transistors, okay? I think I'm gonna leave them in there. They work. Why waste money and parts if they don't need changed? So let's leave this right here alone and work on this side of the power supply. There is green corrosion inside of here. I do see it on there, especially this plug down here, and this was one I was wiggling. The plugs themselves on the wiring harness themselves, they don't look real bad at all. So what I think I'll do with that is just spray deoxit inside of it, and hopefully that'll take care of it and clean it up. So the first thing I want to do is we're going to reseat the chips on these boards, and we're going to recap the boards. So gotta grab something real quick. So let's start and get the board set done first. Get that out of the way, and then we'll do the power supply. Do I have a Phillips screwdriver over here? Probably not. Of course not. All right, I'm gonna go grab my Phillips screwdriver. I thought I had everything out to get this going, but apparently I forgot. All right, battery's almost dead on this drill. Hopefully it won't die. I'll have to go grab another battery. Get these warming up. Now, I was just going to take a couple chips out of the board and clean them, but to be honest with you, anything that's socketed, I'm just going to pull them and clean them. It's only going to take a minute or so. So we're actually going to unplug these ribbon cables here just to get good access to this board. So while that is warming up, we are going to take some of these chips out and clean them real quick. I don't have a little screwdriver over here. Okay, and we're just going to take, this one looks extremely clean. Just going to take my little fiberglass pen to scrub the chip legs, and then also we're going to spray some deoxit into the socket. But I'm going to use some of this canned air first to kind of blow any dirt and dust out of there. Spray a little bit of this in here. You always want to make sure you put your chip back in the right direction. This is extremely clean. I don't see me having to scrub this very long. Make sure you do both sides of the legs. Just kind of blowing off a little bit of the extra deoxit so there's not a ton of it in there. As soon as this,
Okay, now I am just taking more chips out, cleaning them all with the deoxit and the fiberglass pen, drying them out with a little bit of air, and doing all the whole board. And then at that point, I'll be working on the cap kit. right here I'm saying that you can get the oxid and those fiberglass pens from Amazon. Cleaning all the legs and the sockets is just a little bit time consuming. Just take your time, really go through them, make sure they're all cleaned up. Okay, now I'm going to take off the other 3 caps and get them put onto the board, and then I like to solder all the caps at the same time. So I just bend the legs over until I get them all installed in the board, and then I run back with the solder gun and knock them all out real quick. So this is why I'm going over every single chip. If you look at the last 3 legs on this one,
See the corrosion on it? That's why I just said screw it. I'm gonna go over every chip on the board and just make sure that it's clean. But you can see like some corrosion, almost looks like rust. Might even be rust, I don't know. But yeah, I've been just sitting here cleaning. I'm on the last board now, so once I get done with this board, I'll put the board stack back together, and then we will start on the power supply. Okay, now I'm getting ready to put the caps on this board, the CPU board. This is the board that Jeffrey told me to clean these for right here, okay? So when I took these out, this first one was extremely corroded, which is CP6. So this one had a lot of corrosion on it, so hopefully this is our graphics problem, and hopefully that'll take care of that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this capped, put this back on the plate, and then we're gonna move on to the power supply. Okay, the boards are all back together, sitting over there on the bench. Let's get into this power supply now. Like I said, I'm gonna wait on the one side of it. I don't think it's worth messing with. These are the plugs that were giving me problems in the game itself. These are the greenest of them. Still has the original battery on the board. We need to get that off here. I need to see if I have a battery, a button style battery. I ordered one from Arcade Shop, but it's not in yet. I didn't realize that. I should have one. So that's the first thing I want to do is get this off of here. There she is. Okay, so that's out of the way. Let's, I don't know if I have the right tip in my gun. I think I have too small a one. I gotta see if I can find my other tips. Crap. I don't know where I put them. Yeah, I'm gonna need those bigger tip. Yeah. Oh boy, I don't know if I can find those or not. I guess I'll go look. Turn that off so it can cool off. Okay, I located my tips. I'm still cleaning out the storage room and my toolbox and everything else, so everything's kind of just thrown everywhere. Kind of trying to pile stuff up so I can organize it. This thing's still hot. Should have grabbed a pair of pliers. I think I have any out here. Come off. Wow, this is ridiculous. This is a brand new tip, so it still has solder on it, on the end. My wire crimpers worked, didn't even damage it. Now I can let this warm back up And we can hopefully, that's the biggest one I have. I did tell you I found a button battery thing. So I don't know that I have a battery though, I gotta check. I think arcade shops come with a battery now. But we can at least put this on too. Probably do that right now while we're waiting for the gun to warm up. So this is pretty corroded right here, all this. I don't know if it's gonna want to clean up or not. Paper towel. That's my positive side here. Negative's the center. That's positive there, that's negative. I wonder if this will just fit without the wire. It'd be close, it might. I'm just scraping off the corrosion. Very gently. The tip on this thing's bent. I don't know how that even happened. Yeah, it's loose. Really loose. Okay.
Okay, this is where I am messing with the traces on the board, trying to clean them up so that I can solder the new button style battery holder onto the board itself. It was giving me a little bit of a problem. Worked on it for a little bit, and then I decided to just do it off camera because I knew it was going to take a little bit of time. Now I'm starting to work on those plug ends that needed to be taken off and resoldered onto the board, and this turned out to be a nightmare. I ended up quitting on it last night and finishing up today. About 4 or 5 of the traces ended up getting completely screwed up on the board from green corrosion that was on the board, and I had to make new traces using legs from the cut-off capacitors. I was using both the desoldering gun and the soldering iron to try to get those pins out of the board. They were stuck in there really bad.
Hey guys, it's the next afternoon. I'm back working on the power supply. Last night I got a little frustrated and I had to do other things, so I just kind of stopped working on it. If I get a little frustrated, I just walk away from it, because sometimes it's better to do that than to keep pushing on and then causing other headaches. So when I took out this 9-pin plug, it was so corroded, which I'm surprised that the game even worked. It literally was taking the pads from the circuit board with them, with just green crap all over it. So that caused an issue with broken pads on the circuit board. So I've been fixing these. The only real way I know how to do it is I take an old lead from a cap, a capacitor, and I take my little cutters here and I go like this and I create a circle. Okay, just like that. I make a little eyelet. I don't know if you can see that or not. And I make it to the size that this pin's going to slide through. All right. Then I scratch away the lead back a little bit here on the board itself. Get a clean open area. Okay, so I get a clean area by scraping away the green. And then I take this little eye hook thingy that I made and I solder it in, and I put that hook, that circle, right where the solder pad used to be. And that's really all I can do. I mean, I can't really help the fact that it's corroded. So all I can do is work with it and hopefully fix it. I mean, I can always put a switching power supply and stuff in here. I'd rather not. I'd rather just keep it original if I can. So that's why I'm spending the time to see if I can't fix this. Like I said, I had to wiggle this plug around to get the game to kind of work. So this corrosion's probably been a problem for a while. So as you can see, it's not the greatest looking repair, but it's tied into the lead and it goes all the way up to where the pin's going to get soldered on. Now, I still have to get solder to flow from the backside through, so hopefully it goes down the pin and gets onto these. So there was 4 of them on here that were screwed up. 3 of them got ripped off when I took the plug. The 4th one I screwed up in the process of trying to clean it up. But you could see how it's just completely stuck onto the pin. Can't really see the corrosion much on some of these, but some of them are bad. If we could see inside of it. It's probably not going to show up on the camera. But anyways, I've got those fixed. So now I got to get the new one in and soldered in place. So I'm going to do that off camera. I just figured I'd show you real quick how I was fixing these leads. Now this is going to hang up a little bit higher because I have a little bit of a built up area now, but it should be fine. I'll use the multimeter after with the continuity test, and we'll just check all the leads that come from that plug farther out onto the board and make sure that we are getting connection. Okay, I got that plug back on. Now I want to do a continuity test to make sure that it's all good. It's not the greatest looking, but it is all back on there, and I watched the solder flow down the pin, so it should, in theory, looks like it's all soldered. You can see it right there. Like I said, it's not the greatest looking repair, but if it works, that's all that matters. In the end, I mean, we're fixing old junk. So I'm going to take, I know that this pin right here goes down this lead right here, so I'm going to put this on the pin. Make sure I'm on continuity. Okay. Okay, that pin's good. Now we're going to go to the next one. Good. Good. So the first 3 are good. It looks like the next couple are low, or on the bottom side, but we could check this one here, which is right here. Good. Good. So looks like these 3 in the middle and that center bottom one I need to check from down here maybe, or maybe just these ones. Let's see, this one right here to here. That's good. Okay, these 2 are on top. That's good. I think these are all connected. One of these sets, I thought. Problem is I lost some of the solder pad on the backside too. The solder pad has like a little collar that goes through the board to the other side. And it all fell apart on the bottom too, like instantly, as soon as I started giving it heat. I think they're all good, but I can't tell on a few of them. I'm trying to think, I don't know where exactly this middle one goes. Does it go over to here? Okay, so this first one and second one go over to here, I believe. This third one, we already checked, goes out to here. Okay, this one was good. This one was good. Okay, Jay, these two are the same. As long as they're supposed to be like that, we should be good. I believe they're all hooked up. I think we're okay. Guess we'll find out. I'm gonna clean up the fuse holder. I'm gonna change the fuse to a new fuse. Because, once again, you probably can't see it on the camera, but there's a bunch of green corrosion all over the fuse end. So I'm not even gonna worry about cleaning that or anything like that. I'm just gonna throw it away.
Okay, now I am just cleaning up the socket for the fuse. I end up changing the fuse out, and also after that I start putting on the cap kit, and then after that I believe I do a couple other things, and then I put on the volume pots last, or not the volume pots, the pots to adjust the 12 volts and the 5 volts. Right here I'm showing you the original cap had the edge was starting to bulge up the one end of it. So I was just kind of trying to compare it to the other one, the new one, so that you can see it. But it's kind of hard to video those little pieces on camera. Now I'm going through and soldering up all the caps because they're all installed on the board. Then I cut all the legs at the same time. And now I'm moving on to the chips on the board. I take off the old chips, and then I put sockets in place and then put the new chips on, make sure that you put the chips in the same direction as you took them out in. The old chips were so old, when I started prying them out of the board, they literally just shattered into pieces. But wasn't a big deal, made it a little bit easier to get them out, and then the new sockets went in pretty easily. The little one fought me a little bit, but the big one dropped right in. Okay, now I'm getting ready to put on, I think those are transistors as well, those little round ones. And I was showing you that there is a reference point on those, and it matches the reference point on the board. So you got to line up the little tab to the mark on the board itself so that you put it in the right order, because there is a 3 different legs, and each leg does a different thing. Now I'm working on the pots for the 5 volts and the 12 volts, and I didn't want to switch the tip out again on my desoldering iron, so I used my regular solder iron to get the bigger ones out, and the desoldering iron worked on the smaller tabs on those pots. Okay, now I'm showing you, I took out the 5 volt pot, and it was really corroded green as well. So probably good that I did replace those, because I think eventually the legs would get corroded more and probably fall apart.
Back together. It's not the greatest, but I made it work. So we're gonna go out and test this in a minute. I don't know that I have a battery, but my box from Arcade Shop just showed up. Let's see if that battery holder comes with a battery. If it does, I'm gonna steal that one. Okay, I got T-molding, that's right, because I had to steal the T-molding for the Paperboy for those multi-caves over the weekend, last weekend. Now, the good thing is they're selling this stuff now in 35-foot lengths, which is awesome because before they were only 22 or 25 foot, and sometimes you'd run short. So now they sell you 35 feet. All right, this is my badge for the coin door for Spy Hunter. Here's the battery holder. Does not come with a battery. Oh yes, it does. Okay, cool, we got a battery. Bought a couple more starters. Here's our fuse holder. That's gonna go in the power brick for Paperboy. Here's our new line filter for Paperboy. This is the power supply for Paperboy. It's a switching power supply because Championship Sprint uses a switching power supply. So this is gonna go on the bottom. And then there should be a couple light bulbs in here. I usually always order a few light bulbs when I order because you can never have enough of these around for the marquees. So I think that's it on this order. Yep, that's all we got. So we can throw this battery on. It's in here. Okay, let's go out there, test the power supply, and then see if we're getting voltages and stuff, and then we'll plug the board back in, and then at the end we'll plug the sense wire in if everything's working, and then we'll see if it still works or if it turns off. Okay, let's plug it in and see what happens. I got my multimeter with me and this. Let's get it plugged in and fingers crossed everything works. And, if it does, we'll set the voltages and then we can plug the board in. I'll probably set 5 volts to maybe 5.1. Sense wire is still disconnected. I actually have to see which position it goes in because I pulled it out and I don't know where it goes. I think it's the top left, but I'm not positive. Okay, we got these 2 wires here. Okay, plug it in. Still gonna have a loud hum, I'm sure, because I have not messed with the power brick yet. Okay, so let's check voltages, see if we have voltages. So I know that red is 5 volts, orange is 12 volts, and yellow and black is ground. Right at 5 volts. Let's see if that dial is actually working. Actually, let's check 12 volts first. 11.8. I hate these stupid connectors. It's like impossible to hold this thing. Okay, we're at 11.8. I don't know which dial does the 12 volts. Okay, that's it. We'll leave it at 12.1, and let's switch over to our 5-volt line. .1. Okay, beautiful. Let's turn it off. Let's plug our board in, see if it powers up. Upside down. Good thing for those keyways. I plugged it in upside down. Okay, let's power it on. See if we get anything on the screen here. And we got garbage on the screen. Okay. So we went from it working with some graphic glitches to now we have garbage on the screen. So, might have to take those chips back out. Maybe there's too much deoxit in them. I tried to blow them out a little bit because I know it gets pretty wet in there. I don't know if that could cause any issues. It's still coining up, just has way more graphic glitches than it did. Just want to see if it plays at least. Okay, so it's playing. We just have a lot more glitches now. Okay, let's take the board out, get to that middle board, the CPU board, pop those 4 out again, reseat them, and see if that fixes it. Score looks good. Everything else looks fine. It's playing. Shifter's working, gas pedal's working, buttons are working. So it's those 4 chips. And I don't have a Phillips screwdriver over here, but flathead will work. So the power supply is working. I haven't tried the sense wire yet. And here comes the rain again. And they're dry and they look clean. Might need new chips, I don't know. Just making sure that every pin is in place. Make sure I didn't put one in and bend the pin over, which if I did, that would honestly be a little bit better, because then I would know what's wrong with it. No bent over pins. Just looking at everything else, make sure there's no bent over pins, which I was really careful with that, but that doesn't mean that it didn't happen. Yep, let's try it again. All right, I'm gonna do this off camera, putting it back together, and then we'll plug it in. I think I found it, guys. When I put this ribbon cable in, this one pin went below the plug. You can see how that one's lower than the rest. So it never made it into the plug. So I need to unplug that and get it back in. Okay, we're gonna get this plugged back in. And hopefully it works now. I'm just gonna let the camera roll for a minute while I run back there and plug it in. I'm gonna turn it on. Hopefully that pin is all it was. One second, guys, I'm almost done. Trying. Should probably pause the camera. Two more plugs. Okay, we are ready to turn it back on again. Here we go. Come on, graphic glitches, be gone. See what we got here. Okay. Ah, they're still there. Damn it. Better, but they're still there. Huh. Let me send a message to Jeffrey and see if he responds. See what he thinks. Okay. He just messaged me, but I had already figured it out before he messaged me. I reseated the Z80, and I also double checked the voltage on the chips on the board itself. It was hovering around 4.7, 4.8, so I jumped it up to 5.0 at the chip. That did not do anything different, so I took it back apart, took the Z80 out, reseated the Z80, and now it seems good. I have not tested it yet. Let's start a game, And I want to get to that screen where it splits into the left and right, and we'll see if we have weird blocks on the edges of the road or not. So before there was blocks coming up here on the left side. Really, guys, I'm trying to look at the damn graphics and the guy hit me. Okay, I don't see any blocks over there. Sweet. So I think it is fixed. Next is we have to try the sense wire. So I'm going to look up the sense wire, see where it goes on the plug, and then I'll come back, we'll try it, we'll turn it off, we'll plug the sense wire in and see what happens. Okay, I looked up where the purple wire goes, and it goes right above the orange wire. So I'm going to stick that back in. Might have to take the plug out. All right, let me wrestle with this for a second. Okay, it's plugged back in. Let's see if it works. Either it's going to boot the game up or it's not. And garbage on the screen. So we did not fix the sense circuit. I don't know what's wrong with that yet. I'm going to have to do more research on that. But the power supply is rebuilt. I don't know what's causing that. Let me look it up and see what I can come up with. Okay, no luck with the reset circuit yet. I don't know what I have to fix to see if I can fix that or not. Let's play a game real quick and make sure that the graphics are okay. Hit every single puddle. I don't see any graphics glitches. There's oil. Missiles? Missiles. Machine gun, maybe? Are you kidding me? Trying to get to 20,000 so I can see if I don't think it'll save high scores even with the battery on there. Unless I'm mistaken. Darn it. 19,050. Just missed it. Okay, I got 23,000 points. Yep, 23,680. So I could see if I don't think it's going to save because of that wire. But we'll turn it off and wait a minute and turn it back on and see what happens. Be nice if it did. I don't know. I read somewhere it says as long as you had a good battery in there, that you don't have to hook up the sense wire, which is the reset wire. But Arcade Jason told me that if I don't have it hooked up, if it's not working, it's not going to save high scores, which I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know enough about it to know. Jeffrey did message me back. He told me to make sure that I reflow all the pins on all the ribbon cable boards and the power board, the big harness. So I will do that just to verify it, but I don't see any glitching or anything like that. So I think it is fixed. The caps are replaced on that. The power supply is working. I did replace the caps, and you saw those parts that I replaced on that. So I have that going for me too. So basically, if I could fix the reset circuit on there, I don't know exactly what components it consists of. If I did, it's kind of hard. I've been researching it, but I'm not really coming up with much. So I'm gonna have to look and see. But let's turn this back on. Like I said, I don't think it's gonna save the high score because of that. I'm pretty sure Jason's probably right on that. All right, let's see what it says here. Yep, it went back to 20,000, so it's not saving the high score. Okay, well, let's end this video. We at least got the graphics problem fixed. Power supply is working. So next is see if I can figure out what the reset circuit is. I mean, I can put a switching power supply set up in here, but I like to try to leave them as original as possible. Really like to leave the original power supply in here. I mean, it's working. I have parts to fix it if it breaks. I just think it'd be kind of cool. I always try to leave them in there. Like my Tron is running the original power supply, and that's working as well. But like I said, I'm not familiar enough to know what components are the sense circuit components. It's not real clear when I look it up online. There is some corrosion on some resistors and stuff on the board lower down from where the battery was. So I think at one time that battery must have leaked, and I don't know if that's a newer battery that somebody put in it or not. But because that one connector gave me hell. And those traces were screwed up on that board. But as you can tell, those leads I used that I cut off the capacitors worked really well to get me a new pad to be able to fix that. So we did get that fixed. So next step, I'm going to pull the power brick out. We'll get that cleaned up, rebuilt, put it back in there, see if we get rid of the audio hum. And then at that point, probably off camera, I'm just going to reflow all the header pins on the ribbon cables and the main power pins. That's nothing big. I'm just going to heat them up and add more solder. So I'll clean all those up, make sure they're good. And once we get that power brick rebuilt back in there, if we get rid of the audio hum, we're ready to pull this cabinet apart and get it rebuilt. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to do a little bit of editing on this video to kind of speed up a few of the parts of the video. Thanks for watching. Please hit the thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And there'll be more Spy Hunter videos shortly. We'll do a video on tearing down the power brick and all that stuff. Also, I got the parts are all in. I told you that for the Atari Paperboy, so we can get that power brick put back together. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you later on.